Hi y'all, this is Curious Raven. I want to try something a little different on my channel. It depends on how good this video goes and if y'all like it. I'm thinking of doing murder stories on Fridays. I will be reading stories that are unsolved or they have had justice. It unfathoms me how people do what they can do in life and be complete monsters. I will start with one that hits close to home for me. I do live in Florida. I am from Alabama though. I know some people wanted to get to know me a little more, so I thought maybe this would help get me to talk a little more to everybody. Okay, this one happened last year. I was dumbfounded when I heard about it and disgusted. There was a man named Anthony Todt. He was 44 years old. He was married to his wife for 10 plus years. They had 3 beautiful children together. Megan, his wife, was 42, Alex, 13, Tyler, 11, and Zoe, 4. They were reporting missing on January 6th from the gated community of 7,400 people on the outskirts of Disney Hollywood Studios theme park. They lived in Celebration, Florida. Now, when this town first came and was built, it was sort of like a prestige little town that was mainly ran by Disney. You would have to jump through hoops to even live in the town. They were very strict on what your house color could be, what your curtains could be, and they would have little statues and stuff everywhere of Disney characters. But since Disney has sold it, it's kind of not how it used to be. I will get straight to the story. Anthony Todt murdered his whole family in their house. He even murdered their dog. This is a heinous crime, and it seemed like the killings were carried out a little after New Year's Day. The bodies were in the house for 2 weeks, and Todt just acted like they weren't even there. Kept on just living. An autopsy was conducted, and they concluded that the victims were killed by unspecified violence with a combined overdose of Benadryl. Now this is a federal case. Now Todt, he owned a therapy business, and he was accused for billing insurance companies for physical therapy service he never performed. And this was in Colchester, Connecticut. So the house that they had here in Florida was a vacation home. There were 6 patients that came and told their stories about how their records were messed up, or Todt couldn't find them, or they had Medicaid charged for 5 days when they only saw the doctor 2 days out of the week, not 5. The allegations surfaced, and the Osceola County Sheriff's Office went to the residence Monday morning to help federal agents serve an arrest warrant for Anthony Todt. While they were there, investigators found his family dead in the home, according to the authorities. So that means that there was already a federal case investigation going on, and they went to go serve him a warrant for his arrest for the allegations that were brought upon him in Connecticut. And when they were there doing that, I guess, this is just me. I'm thinking how it went down. I'm not saying that it went this way, but I'm thinking that they might have smelled the dead bodies. Me as a mother myself, I just will never understand these sick people. Also, records uncovered that Todt and his business had taken out loans from over 20 different lenders. In August of 2017 alone, physical therapy paid $99,000 to some of those lenders, including Fixed Capital, Prime Business, and On Deck Capital. Todt admitted to fraud, but he was running his practice for 11 years, and he was the only one that was responsible for all of the billing of the insurances. At first he denied billing for appointments that never occurred, but then he admitted that he would randomly choose patients and bill their insurance for extra claims. He said no one else, even his wife, who was involved in the practice, knew what he was doing. Todt said he borrowed money from lenders because it was easier, and he billed for extra services to make payments on his loans. When Todt was asked if he was living above his means, he replied, "That's the best way to put it. This man is disgusting." And supposedly, let's backtrack a little bit. It states that in November until January, the agents were trying to set up appointments with Todt to maybe, I guess, try to work something out where he doesn't get arrested for fraud. But his employees said that he hadn't been to work and their paychecks started bouncing, and then they stopped arriving altogether. His office was closed earlier after the landlord reported that he owed $6,000 in back rent. This sorry of a man tried to actually blame these murders on his wife, saying that she gave the kids Benadryl and some tainted dessert and murdered them while they slept and then took her own life. He said that she separated them, woke them up at 11:30 p.m., stabbed, and then suffocated each one. He also stated at the news of this that he ran to the bathroom and puked. And then the dog that he murdered, just to put this in here, was named Breezy. Murdered his family dog. That's just... Either the dog was trying to fight what he was doing to those poor babies and his family, that he had to kill the dog. That's the only thing I can think of why he would just randomly murder his dog. It was funny because they found Todt wrote his dad a letter and said that he was 1,000% innocent of all of the preposterous charges and wants to correct all inaccuracies from the creative writing machine. It was stated, Todt said, and then it was stated that he was blaming the police, saying, "Oh, they just want to score a big win by arresting him." Todt portrays himself as a doting, if flawed, husband, and Megan Todt as sickly and in need of constant care, having for years suffered from a wide variety of illnesses, including Lyme disease and depression. Her illnesses prompted the family's move to Florida from Connecticut. It was determined she was going to get better, and she was, though. The good days were amazing, but the bad days were even more depressing for her. The day of the killings he wrote as a phenomenal day at their home on Reserve Place, stating that his wife woke up without pain for the first time in months, and the family spent time together. Todt said he went to a nearby condo that they owned after dinner to do maintenance tasks and retrieved a Mickey Mouse necklace that Zoe had been begging for, intending to stay there, but returned to the house after realizing he'd arrived at the condos without his tools. At home, he said he found his sons playing basketball and joined them, then sent them inside when it got dark. They said Mom was preparing dessert and was I going to join them. He wrote, he said no, that he was trying to lose weight. And Todt stated that he fell asleep, and supposedly he does physical therapy with his wife around 4:30 a.m., and he supposedly was so upset that he would get a scolding, so he ran home to go do the therapy with her. He said that he saw the pie on the kitchen table, but it smelled weird because it was a Benadryl pudding pie. He claimed he found his wife at the top of the stairs, which was when she confessed to having killed their children. He said he discovered the kids dead in their beds with no signs of struggle, and he wiped their faces with a washcloth and worked to make them look more comfortable. As he did so, he said Megan Todt calmly checked on him, asking if he was okay. "No, you murdered our children," he said. He replied. His wife responded, "I released their souls." He went on to describe a chaotic scene in which Megan Todt stabbed herself in the abdomen in their bedroom and drank a family-sized bottle of Benadryl as he begged her to let him call for help, and she begged him to help her die. The letter says he couldn't find the phones. "I have to be with my baby," she said, according to Anthony's Todt. He wrote that he tried CPR until he physically couldn't any longer. After her death, he wrote that he moved the bodies to a bedroom and laid them in comfortable sleeping positions, and covered them for warmth and protection, and placed rosaries in their hands. He wrote that later he attempted suicide several times. He wrote, "Yet another thing I sucked at." He said he spent the weeks followed in a barely remembered haze. He doesn't say where. Todt remains adamant He had nothing to do with the crime. Alright, this is very, very sad. I will just talk about it in my own words. I was kind of reading a little bit because I can't remember all the details in my brain. So, let's just summarize. This man was married for a long time, stated his wife was ill and crazy, and for some reason killed his kids while he was away fixing something in another place. He was just trying to have an alibi. That's what that was. I'm not sure how the dog was killed, but that's just something so sad. And those poor babies. I will have a photo that's attached to the video, and they just seemed like such a happy family. The mom seemed happy, the babies, the kids seemed happy. Just because this man was going to have to go to jail. My opinion, I really do believe he snapped. He didn't know how to get out of disappointing his family because he knew the police were coming after him because of all of the fraud. And then he was losing everything. This man is disgusting. Until this day, he still says that he had nothing to do with the murders. But God sees. And the system sometimes does work. It's not perfect, but this man was charged with 4 counts of capital murder. He is in a federal prison now. And I think he had some charges for killing the dog, but I don't know exactly what it is. I know he was charged for killing the dog, though. Also, the pictures from the crime scene, there's not many, but you could go look them up if you want. One officer described that the bodies looked black. That's how decayed they were. The skin was just black, like they were mummified. And yes, this really does bother me, even talking about this. I know that I read really scary and creepy stories, even true stories, but just knowing it's so close to home, any murder story bothers me. That's why I don't watch the news, really. It's very depressing. There are real monsters out there. You gotta make sure that you are observant of other people, because you never know who might have their eye on you and targeting you. So it's good to just be aware. It's really sad that this man felt like he had no way out, but to just, instead of disappoint his family, just kill them all. 4 souls, 5 if you count the dog, are gone because of someone that's sick and selfish. It breaks my heart. If this video goes well, let me know. Remember, like and subscribe to my channel. And any request, I can always kind of dig up some information about other murders that you want to know more about, and I can read them. It doesn't matter if it's as old as the Titanic. So, just let me know. It was good to be able just to talk to the mic and not be reading a story, kind of, so y'all can see my personality a little bit more. Alright, well, I will sign off, and remember, it's scary out there.